Batoche National Historic Site is located on the South Saskatchewan River. I think it takes most people by surprise when they arrive here. They have a vision of a National Historic Site often as a house or a small little plot of land. So when they come to Batoche and see how large it is, but also the beauty of it and the natural splendor, you certainly understand why the first people settled around here.
Batoche was a beautiful spot in the 1880s when people started to settle and build community. Dividing the lands up into long, narrow strips called river lots provided access to water and land when you wanted to start farming. That's the richness of Batoche, it's the land. It's the land and the trails and the voices that people will hear.
Batoche National Historic Site definitely speaks to the different stories, the battle and the politics and who Louis Riel is, Gabriel DUMONT is. But at the site, we also try to give that sense that it's not just a battle. There was a community here before, during, and after.
It's the heart and soul of Métis people, because that's where the resistance took place in 1885, and that is where the big uprising against government authority occurred.
There was a lot at stake. The land and the culture and the rights of the Métis were being oppressed.
You have a people who wanted to belong, who wanted just land and a place to grow their families, a place to settle.
It would be a farming culture that took over, so anyone who didn't quite fit the mold would be put in their place. So the Métis were the first group to experience that hostility in Western Canada, and they experienced it quite fiercely.
It's the most sacred site to the Métis because it's where our history changed and where our people stood for our rights and where there was a lot of loss.
There's just a solemnity to the place, a very strong undercurrent of tragedy to the place. In the history books, the second battle of the 1885 resistance was called the Battle of Fish Creek. However, in the Métis community memory, it was called the Battle of Tourond's Coulée. We worked with Parks Canada and Friends of Batoche to restore the name, to honor the Tourond family, particularly Madame Tourond, who had a very courageous life.
Tourond's Coulée, that was where my great-great-grandmother's homestead was, where she raised her large family. I think that the recent change back to its original name, the Battle of Tourond's Coulée and Fish Creek, I think that Parks Canada should be commended for that. That is correcting history in a big way.
The Gabriel Dumont Institute has a dual purpose, which is the education and training of Métis people in Saskatchewan, and also the preservation and promotion of Métis history and culture. And so the Batoche National Historic Site is a natural ally and partner for us.
We work very closely with the Gabriel Dumont Institute in the development of interpretation programming, special events, educational projects.
The relationship between Parks Canada and Gabriel Dumont Institute has been exceptional. We do a lot of good work together. We help promote Métis history and culture. I think all Canadians should see Batoche